Om Sai Ram, welcome you all to Sri Sai Sat Charitra Daily English series. And we are towards the end. Today is our second last episode, and we seek your blessings and lot of love in order to bring to you more such religious scriptures in future. Today we are taking up chapter 50 of this Mahagranth, Sri Sai Sat Charitra. In this chapter, the stories of Kakasaheb Dikshit, Sri Tembe Swami, Balaram Dhurandhar are taken. Chapter 50 of the original Satcharitra has been incorporated in chapter 39 in this series as well as in the English copy of this book. As it dealt with the same subject matter, now chapter 51 of the original Satcharitra has been treated here as chapter 50. This chapter gives the stories of Kaka Sahib Dikshit, Sri Tembe Swami and Balaram Dhurandhar. Victory be unto Sai, who is the mainstay of the Bhaktas, who is our Sadguru, who expounds the meaning of Gita and who gives us all the powers. O Sai, look favorably on us and bless us all. The sandalwood trees grow on the Malaya mountains and ward off heat. The clouds pour their rainwater and thereby cool and refresh all the people. The flowers blossom in the spring and enable us to worship God therewith. So the stories of Sai Baba come forth in order to give solace and comfort to the readers. Both those who tell and those who hear the stories of Baba are blessed and holy. It is a well established fact that though we try hundreds of means of sadhanas, we do not attain the spiritual goal of life unless a Sadguru blesses us with his grace. Hear the following story in illustration to this statement. Now let us take up Kakasaheb Dikshit's story. Mr. Hari Sitaram, alias Kakasaheb Dikshit, was born in 1864 in a Vadnagara Nagar in Brahmin family at Khandwa, Central Province. His primary education was done at Khandwa, Hinganghat, and secondary education at Nagpur. He came to Mumbai for higher education and studied first in the Wilson College and then in the Effiston College. After graduation in 1883, he passed his LLB and solicitor's examinations and then served in the firm of the government solicitors Messrs. Little and Co. and then, after some time, started a solicitor's firm of his own. Before 1909, Sai Baba's name was not familiar to Kaka Sahib, but after that he soon became his great devotee. While he was staying at Lonavala, he happened to see his old friend Mr. Nana Sahib Chandorkar. Both spent some time in talking about many things. Kaka Sahib described to him how while he was boarding a train in London, he met with an accident in which his foot slipped and he was injured. Hundreds of remedies gave him no relief. Nana Sahib then told him that if he wished to get rid of the pain and lameness of his leg, he should go to his Sadguru, Sai Baba. He also gave him all the particulars of Sai Baba and mentioned to him Sai Baba's dictum: I draw to me my man from far off or even across the seven seas, like a sparrow with a string fastened to its feet. He also made it clear to him that if he was not Baba's man, he would not be attracted to him and given darshan. Kaka Sahib was pleased to hear all this and said to Nana Sahib that he would go to Baba, see him, and pray to him to cure not so much his lame leg, but bring round his lame, fickle mind and give him eternal bliss. Some time after, Kaka Sahib went to Ahmednagar and stayed with Sardar Kaka Sahib Mirikar in connection with securing votes for a seat in the Mumbai Legislative Council. Mr. Balasaheb Mirikar, son of Kakasaheb Mirikar, who was a Mamlatdar of Kopargaon, also came at that time to Ahmednagar in connection with a horse exhibition there. After the election business was over, Kakasaheb Dikshit wanted to go to Shirdi, and both the Mirikars, father and son, were also thinking about a fit, proper person as a guide with whom he should be sent there. So there Sai Baba was arranging things for this his reception. Shama got a telegram from his father-in-law at Ahmednagar stating that his wife was seriously ill and that he should come to see her with his wife. Shama, with Baba's permission, went there and saw his mother-in-law and found her improving and better. Nana Sahib Panse and Appa Sahib Gadre happened to see Shama on their way to the exhibition and they told him to go to the Miraker's house, see Kaka Sahib Dikshit there, and take him to Shirdi along with him. Kaka Sahib Dikshit and Mirikers were also informed of Shama's arrival. In the evening, Shama came to Mirikers who introduced him to Kaka Sahib. They arranged that Shama should leave for Kopargaon with Kaka Sahib by 10 o'clock night train. After this was settled, a curious thing happened. Bala Sahib Miracle threw aside the wheel or covering of Baba's big portrait and showed the same to Kaka Sahib. He was surprised to see that he, whom he was going to meet at Shirdi, was already there in the form of his portrait. To greet him at this juncture, he was much moved and made his prostration before the portrait. This portrait belonged to Megha. The glass over it was broken and it was sent to Mirikers for repairs. The necessary repairs had been already made and it was decided to return the portrait with Kaka Saheb and Shama. Before 10 o'clock, they went to the station and booked their passage. But when the train arrived, they found that the second class was overcrowded and there was no room for them. Fortunately, the guard of the train turned out to be an acquaintance of Kaka Sahib and he put them in the first class. Thus, they travelled comfortably and alighted at Kopargaon. Their joy knew no bounds when they saw their Nana Sahib Chandorkar, who was also bound for Shirdi. Kaka Saheb and Nana Saheb embraced each other and then after bathing in sacred Godavari river they started for Shirdi. After coming there and getting Baba's darshan, Kaka Saheb's mind was melted. His eyes were full of tears and he was overflowing with joy. Baba said to him that he was also waiting for him and had sent Shama ahead to receive him. Kaka Sahib then passed many happy years in Baba's company. He built a vara in Shirdi which he made as his more or less the permanent home. The experiences he got from Baba are so manifold that it is not possible to relate them all here. The readers are advised to read a special Kaka Sahib Dikshit number of Sri Sahila magazine, volume 12, numbers 6 to 9. We close this account with the mention of one fact only. Baba had comforted him saying that in the end I will take him in air coach or Viman, that is, secure him a happy death. This came out true. On 5th of July 1926, he was traveling in the train with Hemat Pant and talking about Sai Baba. He seemed deeply engrossed in Sai Baba. All of a sudden, he threw his neck on Hemat Pant's shoulder and breathed his last with no trace of pain and uneasiness. Sri Tembe Swami. We come to the next story which shows how saints love each other with fraternal affection. Once, Sri Vasudevanand Saraswati, known as Sri Tembe Swami, encamped at Rajmandri, Andhra Pradesh, on the banks of Godavari. He was devout, orthodox, dhyani, and yogi bhakta of the Dattatreya. One Mr. Pundalik Rao, leader of Nanded, Nizam state, went to see him with some friends. While they were talking with him, the names of Shirdi and Sai Baba were casually mentioned. Hearing Baba's name, the Swami joined hands with reverence and taking a coconut gave it to Pundalik Rao and said to him, offer this to my brother Sai with my pranam and request him not to forget me but ever love me. He also added that Swamis do not generally bow to others, but in this case an exception had to be made. Mr. Pundalik Rao consented to take the coconut and his message to Baba. The Swami was right in calling Baba a brother, for as he maintained an Agnihotra, sacred fire, day and night, in his orthodox fashion, Baba too kept this Agnihotra. Dhuni ever kept burning in the masjid. It is still burning as we can see. Now, after a month, Pundalik Rao and others left for Shirdi with the coconut and reached Manmad. And as they felt thirsty, they went to a rivulet for drinking water. As water should not be drunk on an empty stomach, they took out some refreshment, that is, chiura. The chiura tasted most pungent, and in order to soften it, as someone suggested, broke the coconut and mixed its scrapings with it. Thus, they made the chiura more tasty and palatable. Unfortunately, The coconut turned out to be the same that was entrusted to Pundalik Rao. As they neared Shirdi, Pundalik Rao remembered the trust, that is, the coconut, and was very sorry to learn that it was broken and consumed. He came to Shirdi and saw Baba. Baba had already received a wireless message regarding the coconut from Thembe Swami and himself asked Pundalik Rao first to give the thing sent by his brother. He held fast Baba's feet, confessed his guilt and negligence, repented, asked for Baba's pardon. He offered to give another fruit as a substitute, but Baba refused to accept it, saying that the worth of that coconut was far more than that of an ordinary one, and that it could not be replaced by another. Baba also added, "Now you need not worry yourself more about the matter. It was on account of my wish that the coconut was entrusted to you and ultimately broken on the way. Why should you take the responsibility of the actions on you? Do not entertain sense of doership in doing good as well as for bad deeds. Be entirely prideless and egoless in all things, and thus your spiritual progress will be rapid." What a beautiful spiritual instruction Baba gave. Balaram Dhurandhar. Mr. Balaram Dhurandhar belonged to the Patare Prabhu community of Santa Cruz, Mumbai. He was an advocate of the Mumbai High Court and sometime principal of the Government Law School, Mumbai. The whole Dhurandhar family was pious and religious. Mr. Balaram served his community and wrote and published an account of it. He then turned his attention to spiritual and religious matters. He studied Gita carefully and its contemporary Dhyaneshwari and other physical and metaphysical works. He was a devotee of Vithoba of Pandharpur. He came in contact with Sai Baba in 1912. 6 months earlier, his brothers Bapuji and Vaman Rao came to Shirdi and took Baba's darshan. They returned home and mentioned their sweet experiences to Balaram and other members. Then they all decided to see Sai Baba. Before they came to Shirdi, Baba declared openly that today many of my Darbar people are coming. The Dhurandhar brothers were astonished to hear this remark of Baba from others as they had not given any previous intimation of their trip. All other people prostrated themselves before Baba and sat talking with him. Baba said to them, "These are my Darbar people whom I referred to before," and said to Dhurandhar brothers, "We have been with each other for the last 60 generations." All the brothers were gentle and modest. They stood with joined hands looking at Baba's feet. All the sattvic emotions such as tears, choking, etc. moved them and they were all happy. Then they went to their lodging, took their meals and after taking a little rest, again came back to the masjid. Balaram sat near Baba massaging his legs. Baba, who was smoking the chilim, advanced it towards him and beckoned him to smoke it. Balaram was not accustomed to smoking. Still, he accepted the pipe, smoked it with great difficulty, and returned it reverentially. This was the most auspicious moment for Balaram. He was suffering from asthma for 6 years. This smoke completely cured him of the disease which never troubled him again. Some 6 years later, on a particular day, he again got an attack of asthma. This was precisely the time when Baba took his Mahasamadhi. The day of this visit was a Thursday, and the Dhurandhar brothers had the good fortune of witnessing the Chowdi procession that night. At the Aarti function in the Chowdi, Balaram saw the glow of Pandurang on Baba's face, and next morning at the Kakar Aarti, the same phenomenon, the same lustre of the beloved deity Pandurang was visible again on Baba's face. Mr. Balaram Dhurandhar wrote in Marathi the life of Maharashtrian Saint Tukaram, but he did not survive to see its publication. It was published later on by his brothers in 1928. In a short note on Balaram's life given in the beginning of that book, the above account of Balaram's visit has been fully corroborated. Bow to Sri Sai, peace be to all. Om Sai Ram. Om Sai Ram and my sincere and heartiest gratitude To all the listeners of Sri Sai Satcharitra series, thank you, and thank you for your support, your love, and the dedication that you have all given to this new series. It has been since the beginning of when the advertisement rather came up of this series in my Instagram account, when people started giving very good reactions in large numbers. People were interested to read this and also to see the series. So I am thankful to all of those people who have supported in this initiative. I am greatly thankful to you all. Thank you so much. Om Sai Ram. May Baba shower his choicest blessings on all of you, all of you. May all of you stay blessed, stay healthy. Thank you.